closed. You want to start in the first session, technical session 1?
Yeah. So I will start this program. Before starting this program, I will probably go for screen sharing, and then is it visible, Ratnam? Ratnam?
Visible, sir, visible.
Visible.
Yes, sir, full screen. Chala bagundi.
I will just, maybe about 2 minutes, I will tell about the fundamentals. Then I will hand over this to our B. Srinivas, and the whole day he will be taking the classes. For
Sir, now
today's.
you don't want any chairman of the session?
No, not required. Not required. These are the fundamental. Let us see this drawing. Some budding engineers are there. Here, these are two components. These two components are manufactured and they are supposed to be assembled. When these two components are assembled, this is a chain dimensioning. Though it looks very, simple, but it's very complicated drawing. See, for example, the male portion there is 10 and the female portion is 10.03. And female is more, and automatically it will get assembled. Similarly, all other slots and projections. But because of this kind of dimensioning, it will not get assembled. You can just see this. This is the interference what we are going to get. So this kind of small problems, if you do not take care while designing, we'll have a lot of rejections at the end. And one more thing is, what I see many of the drawings is they give all the 3 dimensions of a drawing. See, this is 1 dimension, this is 1 dimension, this one. Any 2 dimensions are more than sufficient to define this entire geometry and also to manufacture the component. If we give this kind of things now, what happens? Suppose the manufacturer takes this and this, he will manufacture the components, and inspector, while inspecting, if he takes this and this, the component is rejected. So this is called redundant dimensioning. This kind of dimensioning is to be avoided. And many places now, suppose if this kind of redundant dimension is coming, we have to say this is a reference dimension. So here the important dimensions are 15 and 5. So this is 20 is only for calculation and reference purpose only. This is nothing to do for manufacturer or inspector. This is only for the person who is calculating the raw material size and like that. And some of places we find typical dimensions. They're all, once you said R1 typical, it applies to all the radii wherever that component is there. That is a typical dimension. And one more thing is in situ dimensions. This in situ dimensions, during assembly, some of the components are drilled and then reamed. This kind of things cannot be given on a individual drawings. This kind of things also will come across many of the things. So when you come to the specification of values will be specified on the drawing for, these are all, ASME standard, and this is the internationally accepted rules. Values will be specified on the drawing for every dimension necessary to define the size or location of each surface, line, point. This itself is understood from this. And some of the things what I had seen in industry is, they will deduce the dimensions from other dimensions. Suppose one dimension is not given, they will calculate the dimensions from other dimensions and take this the main dimension. This kind of thing is to be avoided. And we are also not, we need not set the mating components unless it is specifically written on that. Every drawing should contain the full details, and drawings are not to be scaled. That is one more thing. And all the dimensions are independent. They are not related to each other. And this is one more thing what generally I see in some of the drawings, the public sector drawings. The first, see, this is one hole and this one hole. Almost the difference is only 0.1. When this 0.1 difference is there, when you make the drawing, both the lines look in the same center line. And to distinguish between these two, and very clearly show that this center is different, this center is different, you can exaggerate the dimension and draw so that the shop floor man will easily understand that yes, this center is different and this center is different. That is how this underline is made. Underline means is not to scale. And one more thing, here you see there is a 0.3 step. Suppose if you draw this line and this line, the 0.3 step is not visible on the drawing. So for such purposes, it is allowed as per international standards to make a step visible on the drawing and underlying this dimension. So then it says that there is a step, and the shop floor man will easily identify that step. These are some of the fundamental things. And when you measure the angle, this is the angle. When you measure the angle with a angle, maybe steel rule, there will be a lot of variations. You need not worry about the variations. The angle, if it is within the tolerance, then you have to accept it. I am going with fast, because a lot of topics are there. Maybe 3 minutes I will complete this. And when dimensions are given, they are generally on the opposite lines, passing through the central line. And these are generally measured perpendicular to the central line. And there are some interruptions. Though there are interruptions, when D is given, it applies here, here, and here. If there is very wide gap, it is better to again give a dimension here also, same dimension to repeat here also. And some of the components, like sheet metal parts, the dimensions are given here, and the measurements are made perpendicular to the central line. Sometimes the component is bow shape will come, but no problem. You have to accept unless it is not mentioned in the drawing. And here you see some of the components, they generally measure. Actually, the measurement is to be taken from here to here, and the height is to be taken from here to here. Suppose you measure from here to here, the component is rejected, but there is the incorrect measurement practice. And you see here, the dimension is given D for all the holes, and the measurements are to be taken here to here, here to here, here to here, and you have to accept the component. It is a bow shape is there, but because you have not mentioned the drawing, you have to accept the component. It is functionally not acceptable, but as per the drawing dimension, the component is manufactured, and inspector has to accept this component. This kind of controversies I am seeing in the many of the industries. And to avoid this kind of controversies, there is a procedure to mention this kind of drawing. And this is the way you have to mention the drawing. The moment you mention this drawing like this with a datum at the bottom, you keep it on the surface plate, and with respect to datum, you measure this central lines of these holes. Then this is a correct drawing. Then you will not have the bow shape. Then this is functionally useful. And this kind of small details are made available to these designers. Designers will be, giving a right drawing, and shop floor, there is no controversy and there is no conflict between the inspector and the manufacturer. And I am skipping all these things, all the datums and other things now will come across. And you see, here is written as 15 minimum. You can measure that 15. If it is 15 minimum, you have to accept. It can go up to 22 also. No problem. But minimum requirement is 15. So some people they will ask the tolerance on 15 minimum. It is very difficult to provide. There is no tolerance on that. And golden drawings, particularly different drawings, we used to see 4.00 dimension plus number of zeros. When I was in ECL also, ECL used to follow single is a integer, the tolerance is this much. 4.0, the first decimal, the tolerance is this much. 4.00, the tolerance is this much. 4.000, the tolerance is this much. And this kind of controversies are not there today. And the number of decimal places are not playing any importance role as far as the tolerance is concerned. Tolerance is to be directly taken as per IS 919. And the Taylor principle will explain you and go for the gauge design. I'll be dealing with the design of the gauges also in the not only measurement, how to design the gauge and how to use that gauges for the mass production purposes. And with this, now geometrical tolerancing will be starting. Now I request our trainer, Mr. V. Srinivas, to share his experiences by giving introduction about the GD&T. Thank you very much. Over to Srinivasram. Unmute.
Yes, I did, sir. Good morning to all the dignitaries and one and all present for this program. It gives me immense pleasure to see there are over 180 people. I hope Dr. Satyanarayana and myself would be able to give something so that you would be able to take home all these 4 days of training. And as someone has said, it is a vast subject doing justice in 8 hours, it is next to impossible, honestly. Nevertheless, we would try our best and we will do, justice to the program. So I would like to share my screen so that I would directly plunge into the technical topic. Are you able to see my screen, sir?
No. Ratnam, please help.
మీరు షేర్ స్క్రీన్ చేసుకోండి సార్, ఆల్రెడీ షేర్ సార్.
Yeah, I shared it. 1 minute, just give me a minute. Yeah. Screen share, yeah.
Yes, now okay.
Is it okay now? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, fine.
You got to
Yes. Wonderful, sir. So we would be talking on this topic. The topic is workshop on GD&T for ASME Y14.5 2009. Understand? So I would just give you some introduction of this GD&T, and I will be giving the difference between GD&T and conventional dimensioning practices. Also, we would be discussing very important topic, that is selection of datums, or also called selection of leaders. I hope I am audible to all.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, okay. So now, to all the participants, what is dimension? Dimension is a geometric characteristic specified by a numerical value. Am I right, sir? So now, this is what dimension is. Examples are numerous: length of a dowel pin, size of a hole, relief angle for a radial groove, center distance, and so on. Now, I would like to ask you, or I would like to explain you types of dimensions. Do you know how many types of dimensions are there? I would just show one by one and explain those dimensions. Broadly, we can classify dimensions into 2 groups: linear dimensions and non-linear dimensions. Linear dimensions: any dimension which is specified in millimeters, centimeters, or kilometers, or inches, thous, all those are called as linear dimensions. Non-linear dimensions are those whose units are either degrees, or seconds, or minutes, or radians. Understand? Now, there are 2 other types of dimensions, which are, one is size dimension. Do you know? It specifies size, diameter of a pin, height of a human being. It is a height of a human being is also a size dimension. Now, what is the other last group of tolerances? This is called location dimensions. Location, it's very well. You have defined a pin of diameter 10 and its height is 20 mm, but it has been press fitted somewhere in the plate. Where it has been press fitted, sir? It is in the hole, agreed, but where is it? You must have coordinates for them. You must have coordinates for the location of the pin whose size is dia 10 and the length is say 50 mm. Do you agree? So I would show you those things in pictorially so that you would be able to appreciate these 4 kinds of dimensions. There are 2 kinds of dimensions over there. One is linear type dimension. Other one is non-linear or angular dimensions. You see the next image? We have several dimensions here. All these we can break into 2 groups: linear and non-linear. You see, this is a non-linear dimension. Are you seeing the cursor, sir? I am showing the cursor, pointing the cursor.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a non-linear dimension or angular dimension. What is it saying? There are two chamfers. What is the size of that? 3 linear units. What is the angle? 45 degrees. This is one angular dimension. This is another angular dimension. The relief angle for a O-ring has been shown here. It is 10 degrees. At how many places it is there? 2 times, 2 places. One is here, other one is here. Am I right, sir? Now, I would talk about these things, size dimension and location dimensions. I hope you would be able to identify by now which are size dimensions, which are location dimensions. You see this particular dimension, what is it saying? This is square of 12 units. Am I right, sir? This is called a size dimension. There is this dimension. There are 2 holes and the size of each hole is dia 10. This is another size dimension. You see, this is a location dimension. Are you able to identify, distinguish what is location dimension here? The square pocket has been located from this surface, and this is a center distance, or we can call it as a location dimension as well. This is a location dimension as well. Understand? Like that, these are the dimensions. Gentlemen, now I am coming to the tolerances. How many types of tolerances are there? Do you know? There are some conventional tolerances. There are some unconventional tolerances. I would call conventional tolerances means those which we had been using in the past. We have been, even now we are using. Those are some conventional dimensions. And unconventional dimensioning, I would call GD&T as an unconventional dimensioning practice. Right. You see here tolerances. Do you know what is tolerance? Do you know why tolerance is required? Do you know how tolerance is decided? I wanted answer for these 3 questions. Please see what is tolerance. I hope many of you must be knowing what is this. It is a permissible deviation allowed on a dimension, or you can call it as the difference between upper limit and lower limit. Do you agree? That is what is called tolerance. Why tolerance is required, sir? Can someone answer? May I give you liberty to unmute and answer why tolerance is required?
Sir, question answers will reserve for the end. Because it's very short. Be fast and then cover as much subject as possible. Because we want to learn more from you.
Okay, that's fine. Why tolerance is required? Tolerance is a must. Without that, we cannot produce any part to a specified dimension. This was explained by Vishwanath Garu in the beginning. No matter how qualified a person is, how specialized machine is, how specialized tool it is, how controlled environment you have, there must be some variation. This variation is because of manufacturing variabilities. There are many variabilities: atmosphere variation, temperature variation, cooling liquid or cutting edge, sharpness, blunt, all these are variations. One more variation, material variation. See, welding of steel and welding of stainless steel. Are they both same? No. Welding of steel is easy, whilst welding of austenitic stainless steel 18/8 is not easy. That is how tolerance is required. I hope you understand why tolerance is required. Because of manufacturing variations. There are many. I told you only 5 or 4 or 5. And now come to the third point. Why, how tolerance is decided by the designer? What is the basis by which any engineer or any designer would be able to specify or arrive at a particular value? This is based on functionality. The functionality is the one. This is also called design intent, or some people called as assembly requirement. The functionality dictates the tolerance. Are you understanding, sir? Very good. With that, I would go to some other one. Right? Any, if there are, I hope if at all there is any question, maybe in between I would give, a few minutes for having question and answers. Otherwise, you can please note and we can have all those things at the end.
Sir, may I interfere here?
Yeah,
See,
please.
question and answers, please reserve for last 15 minutes. That is
Okay.
12:15 to 12:30. And for the 3 sessions, what I'm going to take tomorrow, the next 3 sessions,
Yeah.
we'll have questions and answers on 29th. That is during the last session.
Okay.
And I
sir.
request all the participants, not only related to only this topic, any problem related to design and manufacturing tolerances in their industry, they also send us well in advance by mail. Then we'll try to give replies on the last session for all these questions. This is probably, I request Srinivas also to join us on 4th session.
Sure, sir.
Is it okay?
Yeah, I have no problem. I think only there would be some problem for the participants. Anyway, today there is a question and answer session at the end. And yeah, see here, there are tolerances appearing. There are different types of tolerances. I would say this is a tolerance, 100 plus or minus 2. This is called bilateral tolerance. It is not only bilateral tolerance, it is symmetrical also. The meaning is over the nominal dimension of 100, 2 millimeter can go upside, 2 millimeter can come downside. The limits of this is 98 to 102. This tolerance is called bilateral symmetrical. Here you see another bilateral tolerance here, but this is asymmetrical. Are you seeing, sir? Tolerance is there on both the sides, on positive side, on negative side as well. However, the proportion, the magnitude of tolerance given on the positive side is more and on the negative side is less. Therefore, though it is bilateral tolerance, it is not called as symmetrical. It is asymmetrical tolerance. Now, see all the participants. This is the tolerance. It is only on one side. It could be, right now it is on positive side. It could have been on the negative side. Am I right? In that case, it is called unilateral tolerance. Uni means one side, one. So the tolerance is there only on one side. Therefore, it is called unilateral tolerance. And you see here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, this tolerance is limit tolerance. Are you understanding, sir? What is limit tolerance? It is given lower limit as well as upper limit. Therefore, it is the tolerance is difference of 1 or 2 minus 98. All the top 4 are called conventional dimensioning practices, which we have been using all along. Now, I would like to speak about this one. You know, by seeing itself, This is not the conventional one. This is GD&T. Am I right, sir? See, these are the tolerances. I hope it is clear. Now, I would go and try to explain something else. I do not know what is there. Let me see that. Yeah, introduction to GD&T or history to GD&T. See, long ago, during the First World War, that is 1914 to 1918, Mr. Stanley Parker, he was working for a company called Royal Torpedo in Scotland. War was going on, First World War. Therefore, it was on war footing basis. People are designing, manufacturing different equipment related for defense. Stanley Parker has released several drawings, he and his team. Many drawings were produced, designs were produced, and corresponding manufacturing drawings were released to manufacturers. After some time, they were all manufactured and came back to Stanley Parker. So they tried to do the assembly of machine guns, submachine guns, or torpedoes, whatever it is, tankers, whatever it is. When they are assembling, some of them were not assemblable. Many parts had come, some are assembled and some are not assemblable. Then Stanley Parker had a doubt on their designs. He asked his team members, see, first let us check our designs. Are our designs perfect? Okay. Then all, including him, they checked the designs. All the designs were okay. They are okay. Then immediately his focus shifted to the manufacturing. He ordered, see, gentlemen, our designs are okay. Probably the problem may be in the manufacturing. Let us inspect all the parts. They started inspecting all the parts. Surprisingly, all the parts are also as per the specifications given by the designers. All parts are matching with the drawing dimensions and tolerances. It was that particular point Stanley Parker felt the need for something else. What is that? Why dimensions? Why tolerances are not enough? Dimensions and tolerances alone are not enough for producing a good assembly. Something else is required. What is that something else? Geometrical constraints. Understand, there are two types of constraints nowadays. You must be using CATIA, SolidWorks, Solid Edge, ANX, or Creo, whatever software you use. For constraining the sketch, you must be using two types of constraints. One is geometrical constraints, other one is dimensional constraints. So, therefore, I would like to say why GD&T has come into existence. The reason is, before we had dimensions and tolerances only. GD&T has brought the word geometry. Geometrical constraints are brought with the help of GD&T. Right, sir? Is a method for precisely defining the geometry of engineering parts. Right? No need to explain further there. Introduces tools which allow clear-cut definition of simple parts, complex parts, any part. GD&T is offering some symbology, some concepts, some rules, some tools, which would be able to allow the designer to define the part in a crystal clear manner. It's an international language used to describe parts in 3 dimensions. Understand, in olden days, we used to have only orthographic views, front view, side view, top view, like that. Of late, with the advent of CAD, we are we were able to give isometric view also. Is it not? Though it is also two-dimensional, it captures three-dimensional geometry in 2 dimensions. Am I right, sir? The present version is ASME Y14.5 2009. Actually, this is also little older one. 2009 means several years have gone by. The latest is 2018, which is released in 2019. However, all industry at least, has not opted for 18 yet. Still, people are following ASME Y14.5 2009. Yes, some industries, perhaps Boeing, Caterpillar, etc., they would be always ahead in taking the benefit of advances. They must have been following or started using 2018 version. Still, many industries following ASME Y14.5 2009 version. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to go and explain something else. Actually, these are all required for some interaction. Without interaction, it would be a little difficult. Nevertheless, I kept that time, we kept the time for at the end. Therefore, I would like to bring a couple of points to you. I hope many of you must be knowing MMC. MMC stands for maximum material concept. Other one is LMC, least material concept. Now, I would explain you what is MMC size, what is LMC size, so that you would be able to appreciate what is this concept. Though I am not discussing these concepts now, I am only trying to explain you what is MMC. The name itself is indicating, sir, maximum material concept. MMC size is size wherein the part will have maximum material. Now, I come to this pin, dowel pin. What is the size? 10 mm. What is the tolerance? 1 + 1 - 1. Now, when this part would have maximum material, gentlemen, when the dimension is biggest. Do you agree? What do you mean by the dimension is biggest? Means when the pin size is 11 mm, which is acceptable as per the design, will have maximum material. Therefore, MMC size of this pin is 11 mm. Do you agree? And LMC size of this pin is, yes, LMC means least material condition. When do you have least material condition? When the pin is smallest. What do you mean by the smallest? It can acquire shape. It is no less than 9 mm. Therefore, LMC size is 9 mm. MMC size is 11 mm. MMC size, we already said 11 mm. LMC size, 9 mm. Now, coming to this point, can you guess? Ladies and gentlemen, no answer is required. Just guess for yourself. I am telling you the answer. The MMC size here is 9 mm. Are you listening? I said the LMC size is 9 mm. You may be asking, Srini, what is the meaning of that? See, sir, as such, hole do not have any material. Do you agree? So where is the material? Material is in the plate. Do you agree? So when I make a smallest hole, that is 9 mm, there would be maximum material in the plate. Are you understanding, sir? That is the reason why MMC size is 9 mm for hole. What is LMC size? LMC size means least material condition, a condition in which the plate would have least material in relation to the hole. That means if hole is big, say 11 mm, it cannot be bigger than 11 mm. 12 mm, you would reject. Someone is raising hands, sir. Sir, Satyanarayana, sir, can we allow him? Someone is for the material available in the plate is very less. Understand? Therefore, LMC size is 11 mm. Hope you understand what is MMC size, what is LMC size. Now, I would like to explain you one more acronym, that is MMB. This is MMC, you know, LMC, you know, MMC, LMC, you know now. Now I am going to explain MMB. MMB is maximum material boundary. It is an imaginary boundary. I would show you that in the next slide. You see, ladies and gentlemen, there is a pin which must have been press fitted, or it is integral machining, whatever it is. You have the pin whose size has been given, tolerance has been given. It is controlled by GD&T. It is not only having dimension and tolerance, it is having a geometrical constraint also. Now, I would like to explain you the term MMB. Now, I would ask, maybe I would ask question and answer myself. To clear this pin, there must be a hole whose size minimum is 11 mm. Do you agree, sir? Generally, to clear this maximum pin, the maximum size of the pin can be 11 mm. You must have minimum size of the hole as 11 mm. That is the condition when the pin is upright, no angular deviation. It is perfect. Only in that case, it is 11 mm. But is that possible, sir? Can anyone produce the pin which is upright, 90-degree angle to the datum A? It is not possible. That we have seen before, because there are errors, variations in manufacturing. Therefore, yes, sir. Therefore, we have given a control here. What is the control? The control is, sir? I think I would continue. So here there is a pin. It is controlled for geometrical variation. It is controlled for size also. As per our discussions, we had discussion on MMC. MMC of the pin is what? 11 mm as per the definition. Means when pin is at 11 mm, you have maximum material, right? And I would ask you, is the pin axis can be tilted or not? It can be tilted. You cannot produce it 0, 0. That is perpendicular to datum A. That is the reason why we have given a tolerance there. What is the tolerance? Perpendicularity we have given. What is the perpendicularity? It is dia 0.1. Just for your understanding, I would read this call out. Please bear with me to understand how to read a particular geometric call out. A pin of size dia 10 with tolerance plus or minus 1 is controlled for orientation. Am I right, sir? Is controlled for orientation. What kind of orientation? Perpendicularity with a cylindrical tolerance of dia 0.1. With a cylindrical tolerance of dia 0.1 at MMC respect to primary datum A. There is only one datum. Understand? This is how we need to read. Therefore, the pin can be at 11 mm and pin can be tilted also by 0.1 mm. Do you agree, sir? The pin can be tilted by 0.1 when it is at 11 mm. Now, what's my question is, what kind of hole should be required to clear this pin in tilted condition? The minimum size of the hole is MMC of the pin 11 plus tilt of 0.1. 11.1 is MMB, maximum material boundary. Is it clear, sir? That is what MMB is. MMB is, sir, here it is given 10.2, it is not 11.1. I hope you understand, gentlemen. You see, I have taken this also as 0.1, I think. It is not, it is appearing as 1 mm. MMC is 11 mm and orientation tolerance is 0.1 mm. It is 11.1. Are you understanding, sir? It is 11.1. 1 minute, gentlemen. Yeah. So, are you understanding what is MMB? The pin size can never be more than 11 mm. However, its boundary can go beyond 11 mm. By how much it can go? By the variation of the orientation, that is 0.1. Its boundary is 11.1. If at all you wanted to create a hole that should clear this pin, the minimum size of the hole should be 11.1. This is explained here in the next image. Pin can tilt right side, pin can tilt left side. In all 360 degrees it can tilt. You see the thin black lines are showing the maximum size of the pin, that is 11 mm. And the phantom color, phantom line with red color, thick line is its boundary. What is boundary? It is theoretical in nature. MMB is equals to MMC plus geometric tolerance. G tall means geometric tolerance. What is G tall? 0.1. Therefore, 11 plus 0.1 is 11.1. I hope you understood this. Now, this I explained for a pin. I explained for a hole now. Now, please see this. What is MMC? The MMC is 9 mm. Am I right, sir? MMC is 9 mm. So, it is capable of receiving a pin of 9 mm. In which condition? When there is no tilt in the hole. You see here, the hole is like this. Hole is perfectly perpendicular to datum A. In that case, the hole would be able to receive a pin of 9 mm. Am I right, sir? However, it is not possible to produce the hole perpendicular like this. It is a theoretical one. In practical, you cannot have hole like that. We know that. That is why we have given orientation tolerance here. How much we have given? 0.1. Therefore, the capability of this hole to receive a pin is diminished. It is not even 9 mm. It is 8.9 mm. Do you agree? 9, okay, 9. And then again, this is the same error here, sir. This is 9 and then 9 minus 0.1, 8.9. Just give me a minute. I would say it is 8.9. I am very sorry for the inconvenience to you, but I would fix it in a second. 8.9 is the one which we should have. Now, please see, ladies and gentlemen, the MMD is 8.9 for the hole. The meaning is this hole can only receive a pin of 8.9 in all the circumstances, whether hole is small, whether hole is big, but whatever it is, this would be capable of clearing a pin whose size is 8.9. Here, MMB calculation is like this. MMC minus G tall, that is 8.9. Right? So now, with that, I would go to other thing. Gentlemen, I hope you know what is this. This is a plate having a pocket. Now, this is a plate having a lug on that, maybe welded or it is an integral part, whatever it is. Now, I would like to ask you to guess, not to say, what is the MMC of this? MMC of this is 49.9. I hope you understood, because it's the internal feature. And what is MMC of this pin, this lug? It is 49.7. Do you agree? If this lug is 49.7, more material is there in the lug. If the slot is less, that is 49.9, there is more material in the plate. Am I right, sir? That's how MMCs are being given. Is it assemblable? Yes, very much assemblable. Why? The minimum slot is 49.9 and the biggest size of the lug is 49.7. Therefore, it is assemblable. Am I right, sir? You would see a clearance of 0.2 mm total. Per side, it is 0.1 mm clearance. Therefore, assembly is possible. I would show you how is the assembly. You see, assembly is very beautiful, very nice. It is possible. That is our design. Now, let me show you how the manufactured part is there. Assembly per design, perfect. Clearance of 0.1 mm this side as well. Now, this is the same plate with lug. I brought it here to understand what is the manufactured part. The manufactured part is like this. Please guess, is part accepted? I would hold for a few seconds. Guess, is part accepted? You might be thinking the part is not accepted. Right, but no, sir. The part is accepted. Why? Because 49.6. It is exactly at the nominal given in the design. This is accepted. 20.5. Here 20 plus or minus 1 is there. Means it can be 19 to 21. 20.5 is acceptable. This is 50 plus or minus 0.35. This is 50.1. Very much acceptable. 100 plus or minus 0.7. Just 100.2. It is acceptable. The part, you have no right to reject the part. You might be seeing there, you must be observing there is a tilt, Srinivas. There is a tilt here. Therefore, part cannot be accepted. Here my answer is, gentlemen, because I have shown a big tilt, you are able to see. Because I have shown a kilometer tilt, you are able to see. Had the tilt been in a few seconds, few minutes, would you be able to identify? No. Understand? Therefore, technically, you have no right. Even if you go to Supreme Court also, this part you cannot reject. It is accepted. But now let us see the assembly. Because this part is accepted, is assembly okay or not? Assembly is not okay. Am I right, sir? So where is the problem? Who is that the mistake? Is manufacturer wrong? The dimensions what you have given, he manufactured. You have not given any tilt control here, any perpendicularity control of this lug with reference to some leader, with reference to some datum. Therefore, he produced. Therefore, technically, we need to have additional thing. Are you able to appreciate now why GD&T is important? Now, you see, part has been rejected. Technically, it is accepted, but functionally, it is rejected. What is the solution? What solution do you have? You have this solution. GD&T is the solution. Geometrical dimensioning and tolerancing. So dimensions and tolerances are already there. So what is missing? Geometry is missing. Geometrical control is missing. Therefore, we would bring in that aspect. You see this, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? This is the geometrical control I have brought in. Now, this part would never be rejected, provided it is within the limits. Now, I would calculate what is MMC of the lug, 49.7. What is mmB? 49.7 mmC plus geometrical tolerance 0.2. It is 49.9. Do you agree? What is the maximum boundary of this particular lug? It can never be able to go beyond 49.9. And you know the pocket size. The pocket size is minimum is 49.9. Therefore, it is acceptable. Are you appreciating why GD&T has come into existence? This is the reason why GD&T has come into existence. We talk many things. It reduces scrap. It gives clear-cut definition. It gives leaders, followers. It is so many things we say. But the first point why GD&T has come into the existence is because of its geometrical constraints. Is it not a geometrical constraint? Yes, it is. I hope you understand the need for GD&T. It is much more easy to produce qualified parts. Right, sir? Now, I would say I am going to other topic. Coordinate versus geometric tolerancing. I have just now explained you what is GD&T. You have seen some betterment, some improvement in GD&T. But I would practically show, theoretically or practically, you would be able to appreciate in a better way. All of you are ready, sir? Please see here. There is a part. What is the part? There is a simple plate kind of part. In that, there is a whole feature. It is made by coordinate dimensioning, or you can call it as limit dimensioning, or you can call it as conventional dimensioning practice. You see the size dimension of the hole? It is there. This is size dimension of the hole. Does it have tolerance? Yes, it is have. 0.2 tolerance it is have. Plus side 0.1, minus side 0.1, it is having 0.2 tolerance. Now, I would be showing you location dimensions. There are location dimensions also. The location dimensions are, one is this, 1 minute, gentlemen, just a minute. Hello. Yeah, I would, don't worry. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so now we have this one, sir. It is rectangular tolerance zone for the location. How it is saying there is a true position at the exact center point. There is a theoretically imaginary point that is called 0, 0 point. From there, 0.5 is to the right. From the imaginary center point to the left also 0.5. That is the meaning of this location dimension. Similarly, there is a location tolerance in this side, y direction. It is plus side 0.5, minus side 0.5. Am I right, sir? Now, I would show you the tolerance zone for this hole. You see, the tolerance zone for this hole is like this. Are you able to appreciate? This is what is this. Now, I would be telling you some things. If the whole axis is here, if the whole axis is in this square of 1 mm, it is acceptable. Yes, no, it is. If the whole axis is at this extreme, it is acceptable. If the whole axis is at this extreme, it is acceptable. Right, sir? Now, I would ask you one tricky question. What is the distance from the 0, 0, that is theoretically correct location, that is here? From here to the right is only 0.5. Am I right, sir? And you see, from this true point 0, 0, diagonally, it is not 0.5, it is more. Do you know how much it is? 0.5 multiplied by √2. This would become 0.7. This is the location tolerance We have been using since ages. You used, I used, our ancestors used. But is it meaningful, sir? For a cylindrical feature, having a square tolerance, is it meaningful? How are we able to allow hole to deviate in this direction by 0.7 and in this direction by only 0.5? Is it rational? It is not rational. I would say if it is allowed by 0.7 here, if the whole axis is allowed by 0.7 here, all along 360 degrees, whole axis can be allowed to deviate by 0.7. Do you agree or not? It should be rational. Now, I would show you how to convert this into GD&T drawing. This is a conventional drawing. This is, I am converting to GD&T. Same thing, sir. Size is same. Tolerance is same. This is the, I would come back to this. Location dimensions, they have no tolerance. Location dimensions are kept in the box. These are in ASME terminology called basic dimensions. They do not have tolerance as such directly. However, indirectly, they would derive tolerance from the FCF. This is called FCF, feature control frame. This is called feature control frame. From this, the location tolerance is given for the whole. What is the location tolerance? Dia 1.4. Are you seeing a circle here? It is a cylindrical tolerance. Circle at the top. When it is extruded down, when it comes down, it will become cylinder. This is the tolerance. Now, question is this tolerance? This tolerance is both acceptable? Yes, they both are acceptable. Why? You allowed 0.7 here. Left side I am showing you, sir. 0.7 you allowed. I take 0.7 and made a circle, 0.7 radius circle, that would become dia of 1.4. The only thing is, here I have given leaders. Leader A, leader B, leader C. I would just read out this. A hole of size dia 18 plus or minus 0.1 location. What location? Position. With a cylindrical tolerance of dia 1.4 with respect to datums. What datums? Leader A, leader B, leader C. So now I would superimpose this tolerance area. This is the tolerance area for GD&T. What is that? Dia 1.4. This is the tolerance area for this. What is this? 1 by 1 square. See, in the olden days, in the past, we used to reject the parts if the whole axis is falling in this particular sector, in this particular segment, in this particular segment. But honestly, rationally, if the whole axis is anywhere in this circle 1.4, it must be acceptable. Am I right? Then how it is acceptable here? At 0.7, it is acceptable here. It must be acceptable here also, all along. Ladies and gentlemen, what is the additional tolerance we are getting? 57%, mind-blowing additional tolerance we are getting just by converting the conventional dimensioning to GD&T. Am I right, sir? This is the beauty of this. If at all you have any questions, please wait. I would go to the last topic, selection of datums. I hope this is clear. But this 57% is for position only, not for every GD&T callout, for flatness, for this, for that. No, for position we compared conventional GD&T. This is giving additional tolerance of 57%. Now, I would speak about geometric characteristic symbols. There are 5 groups, gentlemen. There are 5 groups. The lowest group is form group. Why it is called lowest group? This does not require any datum. Have you seen flatness given with a datum? No. Have you seen straightness given with a datum? No. These do not require datums. These are applied to independent features. Therefore, normally these are regarded as base controls, lowest controls, or weaker controls. Second, there are 4 in this. And then this is next control called orientation. We have seen perpendicularity in the previous one. Am I right, sir? The perpendicularity having a datum reference also. Understand? These must be used with datum only. Without datum, you should not use these. These are higher order because they are using datums. Now, this is using datums. What is this? Location tolerances, position, concentricity, symmetry. Why these are up above this one? The reason is these would not only control location, they would also control orientation. However, orientation tolerances never ever able to control the location. That is why location tolerances are higher. They can control location as well as orientation. Runout. Why these are in the high category, 4th category? These control form variation also, like roundness, like straightness, like cylindricity. These controls would circular runout and total runout would control form variation, orientation variation, and location variation. Therefore, these are up in the order. The last control, topmost control is profile group. Why? These control everything, sir. What do you mean by everything? They control form variation, they control orientation variation, they control location variation, and importantly, they control size also. You see, in the previous one, size is not in the basic. Only location are basic, right, sir? But if you give profile, size also should be kept in the basic. All would be controlled by profile. Do you understand? The last topics are selection of datums. So this is what is selection of datums. See, there is a small plate having 2 holes. What is the datums you must guess for this? The datums perhaps you must be guessing is primary datum is this surface. Secondary datum could be this or this. Tertiary datum could be this or this. Primary datum also could have been this surface or this surface. How have you decided leaders here, datums here? What is the procedure we followed? We do not know the assembly requirement. What all we know is the parts. So we followed manufacturing point of view. In manufacturing point of view, largest area would be primary datum. This and this can be primary datums. Second largest area, this and this can be secondary datums. Third, this or this can be tertiary datums. This is based on manufacturing point of view. But selection of datums based on manufacturing point of view is not correct, sir. So what is correct? You must know the function. You must know the design intent. You must know the assembly requirement. Based on that only, you must be able to decide datums. Now, I would show you functionality. Whether our datums, what we checked, primary can be this or this, secondary can be this or this, tertiary can be this or this, are valid or not, we would see. This is the assembly requirement. Am I right, sir? So now all our datums are not valid. What we said, secondary can be this also. Do you remember, sir? We discussed secondary can be this or this. Primary can be this surface or this. Tertiary can be this surface or this. But now we are very clear. Primary is only this, not this. Do you understand, gentlemen? The bottom surface is primary. Secondary datum is only this, that is this long surface. Tertiary datum is this surface. Primary is bottom surface, secondary is this surface, tertiary is this surface. This is a follower, not a leader. This is a follower, not a leader. The top surface is also a follower, not a leader. Understand? Now I would ask a question. Can this hole be located from this edge? Yes, you can locate. I would ask you, can this hole be located from this edge? No, wrong. Why? This surface is not a leader. This surface is a follower. We cannot control the location of the features with the help of followers. We must follow the leader. Where is the leader? Leader is this. Therefore, the location of this hole must also come from this. I hope you understand. So, selection of datums should not be based on manufacturing point of view. Selection of datums must be based on functionality or design intent or assembly requirement. Now, this is the part, a circular part, a small lug over here, and 3 holes, looks like threaded holes. What is the datums? You can imagine many things. As for manufacturing, perhaps you might think this is the biggest surface. Am I right, sir? Backside surface. Maybe datum A. Second surface is maybe this cylindrical surface, maybe secondary datum. But what is the basis for this? We are talking about this is manufacturing. No, sir. Manufacturing point of selection of datum is wrong many times. So what is right? Functionality based. Now I would show you the functionality. You can find out the datums for yourself easily. This is the assembly. This particular part is this. Are you seeing, sir? This is the part. It has been shown here separately. There is a wash or something like that. This part is going and butting. Now, what is the datum as for functionality? As per functionality point of view, primary datum is this. Secondary datum is this cylindrical dia, small dia. Are you seeing the small dia? This is the secondary datum. This is the primary datum. Tertiary datum is not required because these holes can be drilled taking dimension from here to here, taking dimension from here to here. And that is anyway given by the axis of the small lug. Are you understanding? What we had discussed, we said this is primary datum in the beginning. When this assembly is not there, we said this is the primary datum. But this is not, though it is a kilometer of size, square kilometer of size, though it is big, has no functionality. Therefore, this is not leader. You see the cylindrical surface, that is this, is a big surface. Still, we are not giving any importance because that is not a leader. What is leader? This surface is leader. Why? It is butting to this surface. Other leader is this. This is going into this hole. Are you understanding, sir? Now, I would show you. Can you guess the datums for this part? I am asking you. You see, I am showing you now assembly. This is the assembly. What are the datums for this part? It is a stepped shaft and you have gear here. You see, this is one part. The gear is on this. It is not shown properly. Gentlemen, this is what is here. Now, I would tell you by seeing the assembly, this is important. This is also important. This one up to here. This is complete is important. Do you agree? Therefore, primary datum would be this portion, cylindrical portion, plus this cylindrical portion. So you may be wondering, Simi, how two surfaces can be one datum? It is possible, sir. You designate this as A, you designate this as B, your primary datum is A dash B. That is how you can give. Understand? So primary datum is this portion and this portion. You can call it as A, you can call this as B. Your primary datum is A dash B. Secondary datum is this surface. Do you know why? This is butting here. Are you seeing, sir? this surface is butting, functional. Is this surface functional? No. Though this surface are of same area. This is follower, this is leader. This is a big surface, right, sir? But these are all followers. Leader is this and this, primary and this, right, sir? Now, I am showing you, tell me the datums here. The datums here are, for this top plate I have been showing here. Primary datum is this. Am I right? Secondary datum can be this width. Sir, listen, I am saying this width, not this surface. Are you understanding? Where is secondary datum? Not here. Secondary datum is not here. Mid of this surface and this surface, that is exactly here. That is why I said primary datum is this, secondary datum is this width. That is this width. So where is secondary datum? Not here, gentlemen. Not here, ladies. It is exactly at the center of this surface and this surface. Tertiary datum is between this surface and this surface, that is here. So that is how you select the datums. Right, sir? Now, select the datums here for this part. I am showing you functionality. You see how it is assembled. Primary datum is this. What is that? This. Listen, not this. You see here there is a gap. Are you seeing the part is resting on at the bottom side? Top side is not in contact. Primary datum is this. What is secondary datum for this hole? The secondary datum for this hole is this edge, means this. What is tertiary datum for this hole? This width. For this hole, primary datum is anyway same. Secondary datum is this width. Tertiary datum is not this side, sir. Tertiary datum is this side. Are you seeing? There are 4 datums required. Primary datum A, datum B, that is mid of these 2 things, datum C, datum D. A, B, C are required for this. A, B, D are required for this. Are you understanding, sir? That is how selection of datum is the most important topic. So now I am at 12:15. With that, my topics have been covered. Introduction of GD&T, why GD&T is required, the difference between conventional dimensioning and GD&T, different groups of tolerances, and important topic, today's topic is selecting datums, selecting leaders. We have checked 2 methods. One is manufacturing point of view, other one is functional point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, with that, my course is completed. Now I would open for question and answers. Right? You can ask your questions and answer. I am on time. I could finish it. Now 15 minutes are there for question and answer session. Please ask your questions, sir. Now it is allowed. Yes, sir.
Ratnam, అందరికి unmute చేయండి.
Those who wanted to have their doubts clarified, they can unmute and ask question directly. Yes, sir.
Anybody want to ask any questions? Please unmute yourself.
If you have no questions, I am eligible to take 10 more minutes. Is that fine? If you have no questions, because I have time, I can speak 10 more minutes I can take. Please explain last example. Someone has asked, what do you mean by last example, sir? I am again showing last example means, yeah, this is the one. Oh, sorry, this is the one. Is this one you are talking, sir? This is the one you are asking, gentlemen? Or this is the one? Am I right? I am explaining this. I am putting it to the thing. You see, this is a plate. This is assembled like this. Where is this part is resting? On this face, it is resting. On this face, it is resting. Therefore, this bottom surface is important.
No,
Therefore,
Your screen is not visible, sir. Without the screen, you are explaining.
You unmuted, I believe, sir. 1 minute, sir.
No,
Sorry,
yours-
sorry. Yeah, 1 minute. Where is the screen sharing? So someone has, made that. Yeah, share screen. Yeah, I am sorry, sir. I am coming right away. Is it right, sir? Visible?
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now this is the one I have explained you last. So this is primary datum. Why? That was your question, sir. It is resting here on this. It is resting here on this. That is why it is primary datum. Now, we should not consider these two holes are similar holes, though the size is same. This is having a different intent, design intent. This hole is having a different design intent. Now, I will talk about this hole. For this hole, this is the primary datum. Do you agree? Yes, you must agree. The secondary datum is width of this. What do you mean? This hole should be exactly at the center of this surface and this surface. So secondary datum is this, B. What is tertiary datum? You see it is butting here, sir. This is tertiary datum. The location of this hole must be from this hole, must be from this edge. And there is no dimension required here because it is the center of this width of this plate. If the width is 50 mm, this is at 25. If the width is at 60 mm, this is at 30 mm. Now coming to this hole. For this hole, primary datum is remain same. This is. Secondary datum is remain same. This width B. But however, tertiary datum is not this, sir. It is this. Are you understanding? So the location dimension from this hole should come from this edge, not from this edge. Are you understanding, gentlemen? Any questions you have? You can ask me. Sir,
Sir,
I
one
would keep-
question. One question from
Please.
one. Please explain how to check position and tolerance with respect to the datum.
I will this gauging and other things I will take next session. This is a
Yeah.
One more question from Subbarao. Please explain about the resultant boundary and virtual boundary.
I will,
Yeah.
I will also explain. He has given the introduction. I will maybe if time permits.
Sir, okay, sir. Time now. One more question from Sanjay. What is the limit of range?
What is
for
limit
the
of?
unilateral dimension? Unilateral dimension. Please explain.
What is the
dimension.
limit range for a unilateral dimension? Please explain. I am answering.
Sir,
There
yes.
is-
Sir, 1 minute. I will. Sir, today because time is available, he has already explained about the virtual condition. He will also take resultant condition. And the remaining questions probably I will explain next class.
Sir, now question is no because of time is there. No, sir. 10 minutes. Let him
Resultant
first,
condition, he has only explained about the virtual. He wanted the resultant condition also.
Yeah.
Let it explain resultant condition. Then we will go for the question. Next question. If time
Yeah,
permits.
excuse me, sir. Should I take it further?
Sir, you go to resultant condition. You already explained about the virtual condition earlier.
Yeah.
Resultant
Sir, let me answer, sir. Please, I would answer. Gentlemen, virtual and resultant conditions honestly cannot be explained here at this point of time. Virtual condition, I would give you technical definition if you can understand. It is a constant boundary generated by a feature of size at its MMC or its LMC, including the impact of the geometric tolerance. That is called virtual condition. Resultant condition, sir. It is a boundary generated by a FOS. FOS is an ISO terminology, feature of size. A boundary generated by an FOS at its MMC or at its LMC, including the impact of GTOL, that is geometric tolerance, and additional impact of the bonus or additional tolerance, if at all it can extract.
No,
So
please.
resultant condition is
Srinivas,
with- yeah.
they cannot be able to listen. Pictorially, please show that and explain. Pictorially, if they understand, is okay. Otherwise, we will discuss next session. Pictorially, please show one drawing and explain that resultant condition. Because already you have shown the, what.
Right, 1 minute, sir. I am going there. Actually, this is not the slide for resultant condition, sir. You are thinking this is for that. Yeah, 1 minute. You see, gentlemen, I would explain you. This one I have explained already. What is MMC? MMC is 11. What is MMB? MMB is 11 plus this 11.1. This is called MMB, or it is also called as virtual boundary or virtual condition. Right, sir? Now, I would speak about resultant condition for the same. For this, MMB is virtual condition. The resultant condition is like this. What is LMC here? LMC is 9. And LMB is what? 9 minus 0.1, 8.9 minus its tolerance, bonus tolerance. You would have to derive bonus tolerance from the size tolerance. It would be 8.9 minus 2. 6.9 is resultant condition. Are you able to understand, sir?
You don't have a slide. I will, if you want, no, I can project.
I have no slide, sir. If you can, please explain.
Slide. Ratnam, please give me screen sharing. Maybe it will take 10 more minutes more because that man we have to explain.
We still have 5 minutes time, sir.
Ratnam, please give
Okay,
me.
okay, sir. Share this, sir. Please. Will you close?
Yeah, this is the resultant condition. I will share this screen. He will explain because he is more.
Me full screen better, sir. Full screen. Okay.
Sir, the bottom one you can explain about the resultant condition. Are you able to see this? Because
Yeah, I am able to see, sir.
I want reply only from you. This bottom one is.
Okay, yeah. But we must have the feature also, sir. Where is the dimension drawing? Yeah, you see, gentlemen, there is a size of the pin. There is MMC size of the pin, nominal size of the pin, or MMC size of the pin. Yes.
Sir, drawing is here 30 plus 0.4 minus 0.1. Position tolerance is 0.2 with respect to ABC. With respect to that, please explain.
Yeah, is it hole or pin, sir?
Hello?
Is it hole or pin?
It's a hole.
It's a hole. Okay, right. Yeah. Take it to next slide, sir.
The hole. This is the hole.
Yeah, okay, fine. Enough. Please take it to next slide, sir.
Yeah.
Next slide. Yeah. Yeah, you have seen that there is a hole of dia 30. Its tolerance is plus 0.4 minus 0.1. Now you are asking maximum material, virtual condition and resultant conditions. We would say what is virtual, what is resultant condition. First, we need to see that what control is this. what geometrical control is there and what is the size modifier. Here you see the size modifier is MMC. Are you seeing, sir? This is MMC. Now, I would ask you questions. What is MMC of this hole? Who would answer? Quick. What is the one who has asked virtual condition? What is the MMC of this, sir?
29, 29.
29 is wrong. 29.9 is right.
29.9.
29.9. 29.9 minus 0.2, 29.8 is virtual condition. Are you able to understand, sir?
29.7. Here it is written.
Sir, 29.9 minus 0.2, 29.7. Where is it written? Yeah, it is. Are you understanding, gentlemen? Now, I would come to, oh no, hold on, sir. There, I want that slide only. Yeah, now, any questions? What is the definition I have given there for virtual condition? It is a boundary generated by FOS, feature of size. Hole is a FOS. Either at its MMC or its LMC, including the impact of zeta. Is definition fitting there? I have used what size? MMC size. I have used geometric tolerance also. Then I arrived at virtual condition. And I am giving you resultant condition definition. It is a boundary, imaginary boundary, generated by a feature of size, either at its MMC or at its LMC, including the impact of zeta and bonus tolerance. In this case, we did not take bonus tolerance because bonus tolerance is not applicable here. Gentlemen, those who have asked, here it is. Now, I would ask you, what is the LMC of the hole, gentlemen? Please answer, what is LMC of the hole? Can someone?
Here you see that I am showing the arrow, 30.4.
LMC is 30.4, sir. LMC means least material condition. When is the least material? When you made a big hole, then it is called least material condition. What is the big hole here? 30.4. That is LMC, 30.4. And its geometric tolerance. What is this? 30.4 plus 0.2. Understand? 30.6 plus bonus tolerance it can derive. How much is the bonus tolerance we are getting there? 0.5 we are getting bonus tolerance. How? Minus 0.1 and plus side 0.4. The bonus tolerance is, yeah. See, I am telling you, sir, geometric tolerance is 0.2. Given bonus tolerance is 0.5, total position tolerance would be 0.7. Already LMC is 30.4. 30.4 plus 0.7, 31.1. Is this understandable, sir? And this is not the time to speak about virtual and resultant condition. You must know what is MMC, what is the application of MMC, what is MMB, what is the application of MMB, LMC, LMB, application of those, RFS, RMB, application of those. Only then you can come to virtual and resultant condition. I have just given the introduction. Today's class, the most important topic was selection of datums. All others are basics. Selection of datums, you must have given, you must have, I hope you must have given enough attention on that. That is the most important topic. Whenever you are applying GD&T, the foremost thing is finding the leaders, finding out the leaders, datums. Understand? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If any other question is there, I would like to address. Any other questions, sir? Still 143 people are there. Chart I am seeing 31.1. Someone has given M. Vani. Very good. Got a new insight on GD&T. Very good, sir. Can you please repeat the slide order of type of tolerances like form to profile? Okay. Should I open, sir? Someone is asking. If you allow me, I would open my PPT.
Now you can take your own time. No problem.
Yeah, then fine, sir. You are with me in that case. Yeah, someone is asking.
Maybe you will give, sir, 5 minutes. President, Chairman, sir.
3 minutes,
Yeah.
sir. 3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, please,
Already
sir.
12:30
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. I am not.
See, if required, no, let me also clarify here. If the people, they are attending next class, we will repeat all these things in next class also. And I will be dealing with, straightness of line surfaces, again, maximum material principle, and, straightness of features of size, like flatness, so three-plane concept, that orientation tolerances, and then runout, profile tolerance, coplanarity, consensity, all these things, including position tolerance, I will be again dealing. So, people who wanted to have any questions, they can put me next class also. Okay. But now he will repeat that, slide.
Someone is asking about something, sir. Let me share that. Share screen. Yeah. 1 minute, sir. I am coming to my PPT. Someone asked about the hierarchy of this one, right?
Repeat the slide.
Yes, sir. I am coming there. I am putting it. Yeah. See, there are 5 groups, sir. There is some hierarchy in the 5 groups. We would be explaining that what is the hierarchy. The first base group is form controls. The reason it is called base group is there is no leader for this. You only apply this for an independent feature. Primary datum is a surface. You are giving flatness to that. Can you have leader for that? No. Flatness cannot have leader. Straightness cannot have leader. Cylindricity, circularity cannot have. They are applied for independent features. They do not have datums or leaders. Therefore, they are base category. The next category is orientation tolerance. Orientation tolerances cannot be given, specified without mentioning the datum. It is a blunder if you give orientation perpendicularity. I would give an example. See, 2 statements I am giving. This surface is flat is one statement. This surface is perpendicular and I stopped there. Is second statement complete? No. This surface is perpendicular to the wall surface. The roof is parallel to the floor. The vertical wall is perpendicular to the floor. Means leader you are specifying. However, to say just flatness, you need not require a datum. This wall is flat. Statement is completed there itself. But you cannot say slip gauge, top surface is parallel. Is parallel to the bottom surface. Bottom surface is the leader. Understand? That is why it is higher order.
The syllabus share chestara screen. And the brochure.
Next group, sir. Location tolerances. These not only control location as well as orientation. Gentlemen, when I say the vertical wall is perpendicular to the floor, I am not saying where is it. It is perpendicular here, or maybe half kilometer away, or maybe a kilometer away. Orientations basically merely orient. They say that a pin is, the water bottle is perpendicular to the tabletop. Beautiful. But where? You do not know. Water bottle is perpendicular to the tabletop. It may be extreme left, extreme right, upside, this side, that side. However, when you are giving location, the water bottle is located here at X units from the left edge, Y units from the front edge. Yes or no? Location tolerances are higher order controls. And now, runouts are furthermore higher order. Why? These control, apart from orientation, coaxiality, location, these do control form tolerances also. What forms? Circularity, roundness, cylindricity. And the top group is the most powerful group. Amongst the 5, this is the most powerful. How? It is controlling form,
Yes, Tanam.
orientation, location, and importantly, the size as well.
Huh?
Gentlemen, I have.
Let me explain this, Tanam.
Yes. Anything, sir? Yes, sir. Someone asking.
Yes, sir. No. Time just to take conclude within 2-3 minutes, sir.
Yeah, I am done, sir. This question has been answered.
Okay.
They asked, explain the hierarchy of the groups. I explained right now.
So thank you, Srinivas here. You have given a wonderful, inputs to our participants. So let me explain for the next 3 sessions what is that. Ratnam screen sharing was accepted. Ratnam.
సార్ ఆన్లోనే ఉంది సార్.
ఇప్పుడు ఇది క్లోజ్ చేయమని చెప్పండి సార్.
Page close.
Oh, I have to close. I am sorry.
Okay, now your screen is visible.
Visible, huh?
Yes.
So next class, we will be, next 3 classes, we will be dealing with MMC, LMC, regardless of feature size, straightness and flatness, datums, and already he has explained about datums, how to select the datums. Then I will go into further details now, what is the advantage of the datums and what kind of, how to select the datums, all these things. Then orientation, then position tolerancing and datums for position tolerancing, and location of miscellaneous features. This is now composite position tolerancing, I will be just touching. And projected tolerance zone concept, roundness and cylindricity, profile tolerancing, profile of a line, profile of a surface, coplanarity, symmetry, concentricity and coaxiality, runout, and if time permits, tolerance stacking also will be just dealing, if time permits, because time available is only 6 hours now. During this 6 hours, whatever is possible, we'll try to complete and explain to you. This, please bear in mind, this is a very important course, and this type of courses are conducted by various people, various organizations. There is a course now running by IMT, Indian Machine Tool Manufacturing Association. It's only 2 hours course. They are charging 4,500 plus GST for 2 hours course. And this entire course, if somebody wants, this is a 5-day course. If anybody wants this course, entire course, I will request Srinivas and I also will be there. ISKI will be organizing on payment basis for 5 days, wherein you can get the drawings and also you can do the exercises also. With these few things, now I back to Rameswara to conclude.
Thank you, sir.